Steve Richter, and this is my teaching demonstration. What I'd like to start out with today is the grand staff. And the grand staff is made up of two staffs. You have the treble clef staff and the bass clef staff. And then they're hooked together. And this is the grand staff. So by themselves, they're just single staffs. But hooked together, you have the grand staff. Now we're going to make some scales on this. And I'm first going to start out with a C major scale. It's going to start down here with a C below middle C. So we're going to go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and then we've got D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. Now that's the C major scale. And there's a formula for making major scales. Remember the other day we talked about half steps and whole steps. And you guys had your little piano keyboards out, and we talked all about half steps and whole steps. So what I'd like to do is go through and show you where the half steps and whole steps lie in a major scale. So what we have is whole step, half step between 3 and 4, and 7 and 8. And those numbers refer to scale degrees, because the first one would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, or 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, and so there are 8 scale degrees in each scale. So let's look here. We've got from C to D we have a whole step. From D to E is a whole step. From E to F is a half step. So that's 3 to 4. Then we have whole steps all the way until between 7 and 8. So that is the major scale built on the grand staff. What I'd like to do is I'd like to sing some scales, and we're going to sing them two different ways. We're going to sing them on numbers, and we're going to sing them on solfege. So we're going to start out with numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Now let's do it in correlation to what we've got written here on the board. Let's start out right here with middle C. Remember we talked the other day about middle C and where that was, and that's sort of the middle of the grand staff. So we're going to start here and we're going to sing on solfege on do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Now let's sing it on numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So there we have it on solfege and on numbers. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about movable do. Now, number 1 scale degree, the first scale degree of every single scale, the first scale degree is called the tonic. That's tonic. And the tonic of every scale in movable do is do. So the tonic is do in movable do, or tonic is the first scale degree. So we just sang the C major scale on solfege and numbers. Now let's sing a different scale. Let me give you a different pitch. Do, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. We changed pitches, but still the tonic was called do. Do, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. It's very simple, very simple. The tonic, or the first scale degree, is always do, in movable do. Okay, let me get rid of some of this stuff on the blackboard here, because we're going to talk a little bit about key signatures. Before I teach you about key signatures, though, I have to teach you about the order in which the flats and sharps go onto the staff. So for instance, for the flats, it is B, E, A, D, G, C, and F. So the first staff the first note that would be put on the staff would be a B flat. And if you have two flats, it would be a B and an E flat. And it's always like this. You would never have like a B flat and a G flat and call that a key signature, because that wouldn't work. It's always in this order that they go onto the staff. And we're going to look at this in just a minute. Okay, so the order of sharps is F, C, G, D, A, E, B. F, C, G, D, A, E, B. Notice it's the flats, but backwards. So the first sharp that would go on for a scale would be the F sharp. And then the next one would be the F sharp and the C sharp. And then the next would be F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. You would never have like an F sharp and an A sharp in a key signature. All right, so let's look here. We're going to do some flat keys, then we're going to do some sharp keys. Now there's only one key that you have to memorize in flats. There's only one key, and let me show you that. In treble clef, and you notice the first flat is B. Now, the key signature here is F major. F major. Now, this is the only one that you have to memorize. The rest, there's a whole formula for knowing how to identify the key signatures. And it's really, really easy. So, first one is B flat in the key signature, but it's called F major. And I put the big M for major. F major. Okay, let me add some more lines here, because we're going to do some heavy-duty key signatures. Okay, if I go by the order of flats and sharps, and here we're doing flats, our second flat to come on would be an E flat. Now, you wouldn't just put a plain E flat, but you would put the B flat and the E flat. And that's a key signature. How do I know what name that key signature is? I go right back to the next to the last flat which is B flat. And you know what? The key is B flat major. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. And according to our order of flats, we have B, E, and A. Okay, remember we went to the next to the last flat. So we're going to go to the next to the last flat. And this is the key of E flat major. Now this will happen all the way through the whole order of flats. We can keep going. Let's do one more. One more and we'll go to sharps. So we have B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. So we want to go to the next to the last flat, which is A flat, and here we have A flat major. And we'll keep going and going and going. And I'll pass out a handout and we'll work on this. And actually we'll do some of this as homework, but we'll also do some of this in class together. So that's the flats. Now let's look at the sharps. That's the order of flats and how they form the key signature. Here's the sharps. Let me get another staff up here. Treble clef. Remember what the order of sharps was. F, C, G, D, A, E, B. So the first sharp to go on would be a F sharp. Now this is easy because to tell what key we're in, we go up a half step from the last sharp. Half step from the last sharp is G. So this is the key of G major. Now watch this next one. We have F sharp and C sharp. Go to the last sharp and go up a half step. Half step takes you to D. This is the key of D major. Let's do another one. We'll go F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, F, C, G. We're going to go up a half step from G. Half step from G is A. This is the key of A major. And it's going to go on and so forth, just like this. You go to the last sharp, go up a half step, and that tells you the name of the key signature. Shall we do one more? F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. Let's go to the last sharp. 1, 2, 3. Last sharp is D sharp. Go up a half step, and we are at E major.